Welcome back into the Enrichment Sports Source. Madisonville Marine, we tell you every week they've got a tremendous selection of boats, aqua patio pontoons, Apex pontoons, bullet bass boats, G3 aluminum boats, Suncatcher pontoons, hurricane deck boats, on and on and on and on and on. The G3 boats, like Bob Hodge went down there and bought just a few months ago. Madisonville Marine is your place to go and eyeball, to go and select the perfect model of boat for you. And the beautiful thing about Madisonville Marine is if you're going down there, it's like one of you wants to have kind of a ski boat, the other one wants more of a pontoon boat for crying. They'll sit there and work with you in terms of, well, it sounds to us like while you're looking at these, you may want to look at these because their goal is to make sure you like the boat you buy there because you're going to keep coming back. So their goal is not just to get you down there and sell you the first boat you look at. That's not what you'll find at Madisonville Marine, and that's why they've been around for nearly 4 decades. Madisonville Marine. All right. Want to welcome in the next wave of panelists here. It's like a hockey game. The next line is in. Sterling Hinton, former Vol quarterback. Bobby Scott, former Vol quarterback. Vince Ferrara from 990 The Sports Animal. Chuck Cavaleris, Golf News of Tennessee, and 1,000 other publications. I'm going to start with my media guys. We usually start over here. I'm going to start with my media guys. Your thoughts on Josh Dobbs and his debut yesterday?
I thought you had a mobile quarterback that fits the offense you're trying to run, and he was decisive. I think that was one of the key words that you think about on what he was trying to do. And I was sitting there saying, where's the help? You've got a freshman quarterback that stepped up and has shown some leadership skills and can play. Where's the offensive line helping him out? Where's the running backs making a play or two? And I just didn't think you had enough of that between the pre-snap penalties and, of course, we talked about a key drop. There, Josh Smith, he just didn't get enough help to pull out a tough game on the road.
I think it was very encouraging, very promising for the future. Of course, he made some mistakes, but the mistakes he made were freshman mistakes, things that you can't expect, correctable things with experience. And the things he made, the plays he made, that was skill. That was ability that he brings to the table. So I think it was very positive, and he didn't get much help, as the guys mentioned. So I thought it was a very good performance.
Guys, thinking back to your first starts, yours in the 1800s, yours in the 1700s. Thinking back to your first starts, what kind of growth did you see between game 1 and game 2? Everyone always talks about teams get better from game 1 to game 2, players get better from game 1 to 2. Do you buy that? I mean, did you feel a change when you went from game 1 to game 2, and do you think you'll see that with Josh Dobbs?
Well, I did. I felt I was more relaxed, but I was excited to get my first start. But it wasn't against a top 10 team like Missouri either. And it was at home, not on the road. So, and that does play a difference. But I was excited about my first start. I was just, I was ready to play. Then my second game, I got better, but I had more production as far as stats, but coach graded me worse. He had more of a stern, grading system on me. It wasn't on the curve, so to speak.
Bobby?
Mine was a little different in that, I couldn't play when I was a freshman.
Right.
So I didn't start my sophomore year. I started my junior and senior year. So
you had a lot of talent around you too.
Well, that's true. He was an 18-year-old. I was a 20-year-old. And that made a lot of difference. I had had a lot of practice time and everything on the practice field, a lot of scrimmages and everything of that nature. So it was probably a little bit different. Josh he's got all the tools. I mean, hey, he threw some balls that were, rockets. That is, Chuck said the pass that was dropped, that's one of those you just cringe over because that could have made a big difference in the way he plays going on. He's not afraid to make that throw anymore. I've got a lot of confidence in him. I think he's gonna be here for a while. I like his ability to run. Every now and then, though, you got to get down. Just don't worry about people, hounding you a little bit about not taking people on and everything. But you don't need to take that punishment.
Yeah. Sterling, his mechanics. Just your thoughts on his delivery, his mechanics. Looks good to a non-ex quarterback. Your thoughts?
My thoughts on this is his first game as a starter.
Yep.
And I had the privilege of going to see him throw a little bit in practice, and it's just smooth. The guy is smooth. But initially in the game yesterday, I saw a little hitch in his delivery. Okay. And that kind of concerned. I don't know if it was because it was cold outside. That could have done. You never know. But it wasn't as fluid. But then toward the end of the game, it did get more fluid. So, but I am just happy about his potential, what he can be around here.
Very quickly.
I was just going to say, if you look at that big picture that's in the paper of him throwing the ball, that ball is up here, his elbows high. I mean, that's what you want. I mean, that looked like a training film.
Go ahead.
No, it's just, he steps into his throws too, and he had pressure in his face, and he still delivered. I like that about him too.
All right, 30 seconds, guys. Marlon Lane, 37 yards on 6 carries.
Wow.
Rajon Neal, 8 yards on 8 carries.
Wow.
On the season, Neal is averaging 5.3 yards per carry, Lane 5.7. Who should be getting more carries? Do you still give it to Neal, or do you move it and start giving Lane more carries?
I kind of thought in that game, the way Lane was running, you maybe go with the hot hand, but I don't think overall that you split it, because Rajon Neal had some very productive games against good
I don't
teams.
see much difference. Do you, Chuck?
No, but I mean, I would stick with Rajon Neal because he's been able to stay healthy and he's been there all season and he's one of the most improved players you have.
Speaking of improved players, I was disappointed when I saw Butch Jones' comments in the paper this morning, because my question for you guys was 51-yard field goal, multiple punts inside Missouri's 5. He was banged up, wasn't healthy, had a bad back. Is there anybody close to Michael Pilardi in terms of this team's MVP
No.
at this point?
And that might be the first time. Well, I don't know. Maybe Ray Guy or somebody like that has done it before. But, kicker being MVP, that's pretty.
I hope the nation takes notice and the SEC office takes notice, because he deserves some high accolades at the end of this season.
All righty. Very good, guys. When we come back, we're going to go inside the numbers on yesterday's games, and we're going to grade the Vols' rush offense, rush defense, pass defense. We're going to look at Auburn's offense a little bit later. Lots more to come on the Enrichment Sports Source.